Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we got episode 3 of the beginner series 0 to 100. So let's just get right into it. Today is not going to be a normal video. We're not going to be going over terminology. We're not going to be going over concepts. We're actually going to be going over psychology, which is your mind, your expectations, is what we're going to be going over today. How to overcome them, how to identify them, how to release them, right? Expectations is something I notice a lot of us struggle with getting over, right? We kind of come into the market with expectations in various different ways that I'm going to go over, and it holds you back from your trading, right? Your strategy is good, everything else is good, your discipline's good, but you just have this last little thing that's kind of bugging you. A lot of you guys struggle with, so we're going to talk about it right now, actually. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is recognize what are expectations, how do they kind of manifest in your trading, what do they look like, right? You can't beat an enemy you don't know what your enemy is, right? So expectations is basically just the idea that you have something, whether subconsciously or consciously, that when things don't align with that expectation, with this desire or this goal that you wish to have, then you start feeling some type of way. So, for example, an expectation might be, I want to pass my account in 1 week, right? And even if you're trading really good, but let's say it's 2 weeks it takes to pass your account, even though you ended up passing your account, even though everything ended up working out, because it didn't align with the expectation of 1 week, now you feel some type of way, right? And so that is what expectations are, and they manifest in a lot of different ways. You might start over trading, you might start revenge trading, you might start getting FOMO into your setups, right? It basically manifests in a way that now instead of just moving naturally, you're forcing things to happen, right? That's the most common symptom that I see, right? Is that you try to force things to happen. So that is what it kind of where it comes down to, is like, are you forcing something to happen, right? To match your expectation. But how do you kind of identify that, right? Because a lot of you guys are like, all right, well, I'm just trying to trade, bro. I'm just trying to make money, right? I'm not really forcing it too much, right? Maybe a little, but how do I know it's expectation versus just greed versus just FOMO versus just other emotions, right? And so I noticed that the most common reasoning that I see from people who suffer from like this over expectations or suffer from having a lot of expectations is that they will pretty much win a little bit. So let's say that you're like, for today, right? Let's say you took a banger trade, boom, say it was yesterday, but let's say yesterday you're like, whatever, boom, I took a banger trade short like this, hit all TPs, fire, just passed my eval in like 2 days or 1 day, or got a payout or whatever it might be. Even if you don't get anything, even if it was just a normal good day, you kind of start thinking, oh, subconsciously, I'm like, oh, this is easy, this isn't too bad, right? Like, even though it might be really hard, it might have been a lucky trade, let's say, or maybe it was a good trade, but it was kind of just a good trade, right? You kind of subconsciously start thinking, oh, like this is going to get easier now, right? This is going to be something that I can do again, replicate very easily, right? Because I did it once, I can do it again. And of course, it does get easier, but it only gets easier because you know what to expect, in the sense of like, oh, I know it's possible, right? As opposed to now with this level of expectation, it's more of like, oh, I should be able to do this. So the expectation isn't necessarily even that it's easy. The expectation is, oh, I can do this, right? So when you're first trading eval, you're not even sure if you'll pass it, right? If you trade your first eval, most of us trade, you're like not even really sure you'll pass it. Sure, maybe you paper traded, you practice, right? You kind of know what you're doing, but at the end of the day, you're still kind of like, oh, but I don't know, like I'm getting used to it. Let me warm up to it. But if once you start passing your first eval, second eval, first payout, third payout, whatever it is, now you kind of start saying, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm good at this. This is something that I have a skill at, right? I know what I'm doing when it comes to trading." And that's not a bad thing. It's good to have confidence, but when it comes with expectations, when that confidence turns into, now I need this, right? Now if I don't get this, I'm going to feel some type of way. That is where I notice it comes from the most. So for example, right, some other people come to me in the streams, they'll be like, "Bro, I just got a 10K payout. Literally this just happened like an hour ago. I was literally just on stream, and they were saying, "Bro, I just got like a max payout, but now I can't pass an eval for 2 months. What am I doing wrong?" And I told him straight up, and I'm like, "Well, have you been following your rules?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've been following most of my rules. I over leverage and I FOMO trade now. I didn't have FOMO before, and now I have FOMO, and I don't know why." And I told him, I was like, "Well, now you got your max payout. Now you think that, oh, I know what I'm doing. This is gonna get easier." Even though it's not an explicit, he's not like actually saying, "Oh, it's gonna get easier," but subconsciously in your mind, now if you don't start seeing those same results, you'll start feeling some type of way, right? And so because of that, he was able to recognize, oh, you're right. Like I do have this level of expectation. But then he asked the next question, which was, okay, how do I overcome these expectations, right? How do I know how, how do I do this, right? And so I told them, well, first you need to identify what you're actually, if this is expectations or if this is something else, right? So I told them the best way to identify it is to sit down and review all your trades. This is why you should journal, because it makes it very, very easy for you to look back at your past trades and kind of build up this data, right? So I told them, look back at your past journal, look at your past trades. And I always tell you guys to write your emotions down. So like record whatever you got to do to kind of make sure that you're not just writing down technical stuff, you're writing down also how you're feeling about trades, right? And so I told him, well, look back at your trades, right? And he kind of looks back, and I'm like, first you have to look back and you have to say, okay, how do I feel about these trades, right? And so I told him, I was like, a lot of the times you'll start noticing your trades are, oh, I really need this to hit so I can get the payout, or I really want this to happen so I can get this. And you start realizing, oh, before the trade is even done, before anything's even really happened, I'm already thinking about more than just the trade. I'm already thinking about, how does this align with my plans? How does this align with my expectations, right? And so right away you need to realize, okay, is this trade coming from just legitimately a clear slate? And you guys kind of know when you're doing it from emotion, right? At least I did. Is I'll know right away, oh, this is an emotional trade. That doesn't mean I stop. That doesn't mean you stop. That just means you know, right? So kind of think about it and be like, all right, like, yeah, like I kind of want this trade to hit because I really want to get the payout and I really have this expectation to get a payout. And then as you start piecing it, you're gonna be like, oh, you'll read between the lines, right, of what you're thinking. You think like, yeah, well, it's just a good trade, bro. It just makes sense. And it's like, yeah, but even though the trade was good, the mindset was not, and that's where you're going wrong. So first you have to recognize, okay, where is this trade foundationally coming from? All right, you know what? Honestly, if I'm being honest, bro, this long, yeah, it looks good, but I also really wanted to take something so that way I could get a payout because I really need a payout, and I really had this payout last month, and now I need this month to be the same, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first way to understand. Just go through your notes and kind of recognize, where do these trades come from in my mind. After that, you need to accept that, and you need to say, okay, you know what? Honestly, bro, like you need to kind of go talk to yourself almost, like, or not to yourself, but like talk to yourself, think about it, and say, you know what? Like, even though I really want this thing to happen. Just be honest and be on. Like, I'm honest about myself. I'm like, guys, I want to pay out bad. Like, sometimes I'll be like that. I'm like, oh, I really wanted to pass this account, but instead of letting that define you, start saying, you know what? I want to pass this account. I want this trade to hit. I want this to happen. But even if it doesn't happen, instead of just worrying about it, I'm gonna treat life like a GPS. I say this: treat trading like a GPS, right? if you uh if you take a wrong turn, let's say you're trying to go somewhere, right? You're trying to go to the beach. If you take a wrong turn, is the GPS gonna start saying, "Oh, well, it's over. Like, you can't get you. You went the wrong way, bro. Went on the wrong street, the wrong freeway. Now you're never gonna get to where you want to go." Right? The GPS doesn't do that. It might take a little longer, but it'll reroute you. It'll put you back on the right track. It'll say, "Well, you did take a wrong turn, so it'll take about 5 more minutes to get there, but we'll still end up in the same spot, right?" But expectations, when you have these expectations set in stone, you start thinking, no, man, like if I don't get it by this week, it's all over. And you start kind of calculating in your head, like, oh, I need this to happen, or this isn't going to happen. If this doesn't happen, then this doesn't happen. Instead of saying that, say, you know what? Honestly, I really wanted it to work out this way. I really wanted this thing to happen. But even though that didn't happen, I can still say, okay, I'm cool. I'm going to rewrite my plans. I say, write your plans in pencil, not in pen. If something doesn't go wrong, even if it hurts, just say, okay, you know what? There's nothing you can do about it, right? At the end of the day, if you blow an account, you can't magically go back in time and change it. You can only change moving forward. Say, move forward. Okay, you know what? I know what I did wrong. I had expectations. I had greed. I had FOMO. I'm going to rewrite my plans, and I'm going to start setting the plans in pencil. So if your plans don't work out, right? It's cool. Life will reroute you back to where you need to go, right? Instead of focusing so hard on trying to make things work, right? Let the plans work for you. Don't work for the plans, guys. This is, oh, that's a bar. Let me say that again. Let the plans work for you. Don't work for the plans. When you make these expectations, when you make these things and you really want these things to happen, it's great. It's a good thing to want goals, but don't let the goals start dictating your path. Don't let the goals start saying whether you take a trade or not, whether you have FOMO or not, whether you have anxiety or not, because that's not even you anymore at that point. Now it's just the emotions talking. It's not even your brain or your strategy. It's not any of these things working. Now you're relying only on your emotions, on your expectations to say, oh, well, if this trade needs to hit because I need this to hit, or else my plan won't fail, or my plan's going to fail, or whatever it may be. And that's where you guys are starting to struggle. And that's where it's really starting to unlock, is that, oh, you know what? Once I recognize, oh, okay, I see where this is coming from. And I see that this is just my plan speaking, not me speaking. That's when I was able to transform my trading. So I'll show you guys, I'll tell you guys an example. This week, On Monday of this week, I just passed a brand new account. It was beautiful. Two banger trades. It was two of my best trades I've taken in a while, right? It was a long and a short, and they worked out beautifully. It was some of my best trading I've done in a while. But and after that, I'll be honest, I was starting to think, all right, like we're gonna hit 10K months this month for sure. I thought everything lined up perfectly. It was the first of the month, right? It was the right before the new month, and I started thinking, oh, bro, July is gonna be my first 10K month. I'm gonna get all these payouts on this new account and this a new account, and this is gonna be awesome. And subconsciously, right away, you can already hear it. Oh, he's starting to build expectations that he needs this by the end of the month, and he needs it from this account. He needs this thing and this thing and this thing. But at the end of the day, what was there anything that really made sense to say that, right? At the end of the day, it was just a past account, which is great. It could be a 10K month, but now instead of moving forward with peace and with a neutral mindset, now I'm starting to say, oh nope, we're in a money making mindset. Now I have this expectation that because I did really well passing the account, then now I'm going to trade the account really well for the rest of the account until I get my payout. And so right away, for today, it manifested today, right? I took a trade today, right? I tried to go long in somewhere around here. I think it was like an inverse I took here, right? It got break even, or it wasn't quite break even, but it was like a smaller stop loss. It was like right at this candle low, and you can see it got break even basically, like a small loss. I meant, and it wasn't a bad trade. It was mostly within my setup. We had SMT, we had other things, we had a high time frame fair value gap, right? We were in the right time of day. It made sense at the time, and so even though it wasn't a bad trade and it wasn't even a full loss, right? It was actually a fairly small loss relative to my other losses, but because I had this expectation that now we're going to start seeing more results, we're going to start seeing more money because I performed so well on the last account. Now that's where things started getting tricky. That's where I started thinking, oh man, we're going to get the 10K month. And now that the account didn't have the trade go well, that the trade didn't hit, instead of thinking, oh, well, that's just how it goes, like I usually am, now instead of my usual normal like way of going about it, I started thinking, oh, now we got to re-enter, or oh, we should probably do something else. Maybe the long was just wrong that time, but maybe if we just wait it out, we'll eventually get what we want to see. But the issue with that way of thinking is that now again, instead of looking at the setup, now I'm starting to trade my emotions. That's how you guys start manifesting these symptoms, right? These are the symptoms. Over trading, leverage. The issue wasn't over trading and over leveraging. The issue was that in the first place I started thinking this way, right? If I got rid of this desire and this mindset and this expectation from the start, I would have never had that problem. I would have never even had a problem with over trading. And so today I was able to apply what I just taught you guys today of saying, oh, I can already feel it. I already see it. I see the way that I'm saying these things, the way that I'm thinking. And if I keep thinking this way, the account's going to get blown. Probably, I'm probably going to blow the account. I'll probably blow two accounts, three accounts, might even buy a brand new account just to blow it right then and there. That's the type of day it was. That's the type of emotions that I already recognized. But because I knew, oh, this is expectations, right? So if you guys can apply what I just said in the video, you'll be able to start and prevent these things as well. And that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. It was mostly just, like I said, psychology video. Hope you guys learned something, right? Maybe if you got one good thing out of it, just let me know. Comment down below if there was a banger line or a banger thing that you were like, dude, this is fire. Just let me know, guys. I do appreciate the feedback I get on these types of videos. So I'll let you guys go, and I'll see you guys in episode 4, where we're gonna be going over concepts. Finally, we're gonna go over something interesting, right? But especially for the new people, I thought expectations is a good idea because it's like, oh, a lot of you guys have expectations. Maybe you don't even know necessarily what you have, but you have something. Maybe it's like, oh, I want to buy a Lambo, oh, I want to buy a car, oh, I want to travel. Of course, it's good to have goals, but don't let the goals define your journey, guys. Let your journey be the journey and the goals be the end, right? That's a bar. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.